Art has always been a powerful force in human history, a way for us to express, resist, and document our experiences. From the earliest cave paintings, where ancient humans used pigments to create images of animals and rituals, to today's art forms, the evolution of human creativity reflects our deepest desires, struggles, and connections. All We Imagine as Light by Payal Kapadia, this year's Cannes Grand Prix winner, and the first Indian film in the main competition in 3 decades, builds on that rich legacy of art to tell stories of resistance and human connection, blending visual poetry with deep realism. Payal's film is set in Mumbai, the maximum city that hosts millions of stories, as the film takes us through montages of the city, punctuated by voiceovers from multiple immigrants, before zooming into the lives of 3 of them. There's Prabha, the middle-aged Malayali nurse, abandoned by her husband who left for Germany for work, breaking all communication. There's Anu, Prabha's junior colleague at the hospital and her roommate, in love with a Muslim boy. And there's Parvati, the cook at the hospital, a resident of Mumbai for 2 decades who is suddenly being pushed to vacate her place by powerful promoters. It could be anyone else's story too, on another evening perhaps, of your or mine. Of Vijay, the angry young coolie from Diwar, the unemployed youth Salim Langra who aspires to become a big shot criminal, of the drug peddlers or prostitutes of Salam Bombay, or the timid suitor Arun from Choti Si Baat, who cannot express his feelings for some other Prabha at another corner of Mumbai. With shadows of all such characters lingering, this is the city that shelters so many. But the security of its shelter is only volatile, as the same city renounces them on its whims. Thus Mumbai, the setting, is not idealized. Instead, it is portrayed as chaotic, sometimes alienating city that impacts the characters deeply, almost like a character itself, perhaps the antagonist of our film. Payal skillfully blends fiction with elements of non-fiction, creating a narrative that feels both grounded in reality and subtly surreal. She uses her documentary-like realism to portray the daily struggles of her characters, capturing the authenticity of Mumbai's streets and the unfiltered lives of its residents. And then, within that realism, are moments that feel almost dreamlike, blurring the lines between the characters' lived experiences and their inner emotional worlds. Fleeting surreal imagery, such as shadows that linger a little too long, or colors that suddenly become more vivid, adding layers of depth, reflecting the characters' inner lives and desires. The text messages between Anu and her boyfriend are visible on our screen, never tagged to this particular couple through visuals, as if blowing in the Mumbai wind, like they belong to so many others, as the tripping piano pieces by Emma Hoysek Mariam Gobro take on our senses. This fusion of real and surreal elements render the film its lyrical quality, allowing audiences to experience not only the tangible challenges of the protagonists, but also their unspoken hopes and fears, making the story resonate on a deeply personal level. It is these moments that touch you inside, or make you feel that you are at a touching distance from Prabha, Anu, or Parvati, as their lives might not be the same as yours, but their feelings of love, loneliness, and desires are so similar to what you might have experienced in life. Like Anu wonders how Prabha married someone completely unknown, something she can never do for her parents. And yet, these are souls who shelter each other from the ever-engrossing world. Like the continued sense of loneliness in Prabha, similar to a parasite refusing to leave its host, as captured in Kani Kusruti's always brimming eyes through her looks and hardly any dialogues. Ranobir Das's camera echo the empathy that Payal brings to her characters. The muted greys and misty blues of Mumbai's monsoon mirror the inner lives of the film's characters, casting a soft, reflective tone over their world. Occasionally warm yellows and browns break through, hinting at moments of connection and hope amidst urban isolation. Colors, like in Wong Kar-wai films, that feel like fleeting glimpses into the heart. And then as Prabha, Anu and Parvati travel beyond the city, the color palette changes as we witness real light for the first time, as the camera moves over to the calm sea. The soundtrack by Dhudriman Das, with musical influences from across the world, holds these visuals together, further adding to the poetry of the film. as Payal and her crew prioritize feelings over meaning like only true artists and lovers can. Much like her award-winning documentary, A Night of Knowing Nothing, Payal's fiction debut is hardly about plot points. It is more about the sound and visuals that express her characters and the space and moments that they live in, like the nurses running on the terrace to pick their clothes before the rain comes and washes them away, like Prabha's blue sari merging into the Mumbai night sky as she leaves it to soak after a wash, like Anu and her boyfriend Shiaz walking side by side as strangers before they join hands at a crossing, like the rain drenching the couple sharing a kiss as some locals play football nearby, like the same rains flooding the city on another day, thus barring Anu and Shiaz to meet as they planned. And suddenly left alone, Anu reaches out to her mother, seeking comfort, just as many of us would when loneliness and emptiness settle in. It is this sisterhood that extends from real to real, from on-screen to off-screen, as Payal captures Prabha, Anu or Parvati with her female gaze, as the camera captures Anu changing her inners after a long tiring day, or Prabha relieving herself in the woods. It is the projection of a female body of flesh and blood on screen, a resistance to the male gaze of objectification that we are used to watching. Thus, when the camera captures Anu and Shiaz intimate with each other, it is from a point of the female desire, as we have glimpses of the naked male body. Or at night when a lonely Prabha pulls out the rice cooker that came from Germany, she embraces and takes in the object as a substitute to her missing husband. Payal hardly does anything conventional with the narrative structure. She raises the question but does not wish to find what is the future of the interfaith affair between Anu and Shiaz, whether the society will forgive them from breaking its rules. She does not intend to show Parvati's resistance to the corporate houses and instead makes her return to her village. And she does not bother to find if the pressure cooker that came to Prabha from Germany was indeed coming from her husband in trying to fetch her a formal closure. The film instead moves into magic realism, like you may find in the work of Apichatpong Veerasethugal, leaving aside all conventionally potent roots of popular making for something ethereal and surreally beautiful. But wait, isn't where it all started from the reality of an elderly lady patient in Prabha's hospital who hallucinates her dead husband after having her medicines while Prabha tries to bring her to senses. The film subtly suggests that whether through hallucinations or magical realism, beauty lies in its transience, much like the fleeting nature of everything we experience. Loneliness doesn't leave us all of a sudden, and we immediately do not find out the bright light. Finding closure is often a long and arduous journey, marked by obstacles and unexpected detours. Much like Payal's depiction of Prabha's path, it mirrors the universal search for light and happiness we all yearn to discover. It echoes the illusions of Mumbai as one of the voiceovers reflects. With this impermanence, the final frames dissolve into a neon-lit blur as the characters drift away from the city's relentless hustle, evoking the quiet closure of Satyajit Ray's Pratidwandi. Siddhartha in Pratidwandi was searching for that bird from his childhood, that he finally hears back away from the city of Kolkata, as the characters in Payal's film can also find hope far from the Mumbai skyline. We wish all our worlds could fit into those final frames of those bruised souls sheltering each other, a more practical image of utopia for a world we live in today. There are thousands of wounds out there, but all that the film means by healing is to teach its characters to hold others the exact way they were never held before. That's all they imagine as light.